Remaining glenohumeral muscles, Latissimus dorsi, Teres major, Pectoralis major on the skeleton. So let's look at the lat. Big old muscle coming from T7, iliac crest sacrum. So we'll just represent it here. But it doesn't stay posterior, guys. It comes around to the medial lip of that bicipital groove, so below the lesser tuberosity. Therefore, it's an extensor. It's a strong internal rotator, and if the humerus was abducted, it's an adductor. Okay? So again, there it is. Good internal rotator. It's a good extensor. And if we were abducted, see how it gets lengthened? It's going to help pull it. So when you do a lat pull down, you are adducting from an extended position, and you're going to feel it in your lat. Now the teres major is the little helper of the lat. Does the same three actions: extension, IR, and adduction. Comes from the inferior angle. It doesn't stay posterior like the teres minor. It goes around to the front. Again, that medial lip. So hopefully you can see IR. Hopefully you can see adduction. And hopefully you can see that it's an extensor. Let me get this out of the way. Let's do that again. Inferior angle, medial lip, okay? Internal rotation. Flexion makes it lengthen, so hopefully you can see it extend. Abduction makes it lengthen, so hopefully you can see it adduct. When we're palpating, we're going to put our fingers on the inferior angle to feel the teres major. Resist IR, extension, or adduction. The lat, we're going to put our fingers a little bit lateral and distal, but we resist the same three things. Teres major, subscapular nerve. Last but not least, Pectoralis major, biggie. Clavicular head, okay, so clavicle, and it's going to go to the lateral lip of the bicipital groove. And then the sternal head, I don't have a wide enough piece of Theraband, but picture it coming all this sternum, costal cartilage ribs, and it converges to come over, so it's got a line of pull like this. So hopefully you can see it's a great internal rotator, a great horizontal adductor. Okay, it's a initiator of flexion to 90. And keep in mind, especially that sternal portion, if you flex, you're all the way up in flexion land, the pec is going to come down, lengthen, you can see it, and it's going to help pull to 90. But then after 90, it's going to shut off. So it's a flexor 0 to 90 and an extensor from full flexion to 90. Whole muscle internally rotates and horizontally adducts. The more vertical fibers can initiate abduction, so it's very, very weak in abduction. The two actions it cannot do, because it's not on the back, would be horizontal abduction or external rotation, okay? So looking at me, here's my pec, okay? I've got a clavicular portion, I've got a sternal portion, all the way over to the lateral lip, so lateral to the bicep tendon below the greater tuberosity. So hopefully you can see it horizontally adducts. You should do this on yourself. You can feel it. Hopefully you can feel it internally rotating, Hopefully you can see that the clavicular fibers flex to 90. Now go ahead, it's going to turn off, and up here, the sternal fibers are going to extend to 90, and it's going to turn off. So it's a flexor to 90, an extensor from 180 to 90. All fibers horizontally adduct. All fibers internally rotate. And all fibers adduct. So the only two things it cannot do is horizontal abduction and external rotation. Okay? If you put your hand on your pec and you do those motions, all it's doing is being lengthened. Medial and lateral pectoral nerves. Happy Thanksgiving.